Good morning, welcome to Ikate's Crossing. Okay, today we're going to continue with our exploration of Journey of the Heart. We're up to chapter 12. Okay, and we're going to use the Mermaid Tarot and Healing Waters to continue. We're up to chapter 12, part 2. So let's have a look and see what message do the cards have for us. That was interesting. First card we have here is the Two of Wands. So it's all about choices to be made. It's about looking ahead at where we've been, where we're going, that sense of contemplating the path that lies ahead for us with the choices that we're yet to make, and about finding balance. It's all about the connection of love. It's all about that emotional love, which is super, super important here. It's all about what do we focus on in regards to love, in regards to relationships, in regards to the choices that we make. I think that's a really important thing here. I get a really sort of simple, very clear message, and it's all about the choices that we make. It's about us being responsible for the direction that we're moving into, or what we're focusing on emotionally, what ties us up in that moment. Super, super important there. Okay, so let's have a look at the Healing Waters card. So what card are we going to reflect on? Okay, that's interesting. I got from the Healing Waters Oracle, Mother of the Salt Waters, passion, wild love, open your heart and let love in. So so it's all about the choices and how we open ourselves up to new relationships, new possibilities, that new love. It's all about what we choose to focus on. Super, super important in this process here. So interesting card. Let's have a look and see if we can get a little bit more information. Okay, the ocean's unknowable, untainable, vast beauty has beguiled humans since time began, and numerous deities are associated with her salt waters. From the Greek goddess Aphrodite, wife of the sea god Poseidon, to Yemaya, West African's queen of the sea, and from Doris, the Greek goddess, and from Doris, the Greek goddess of fertility and the abundance of the ocean, to Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty, who was born out of the sea foam. The ocean is a symbol of the feminine mysteries, love, beauty, and great passion. This card delivers with it a message of love as deep as the ocean and passion as intense as the deepest blue sea. It's an invitation to welcome the feminine qualities within you and to really let yourself dream. It's an invitation to see the beauty all around you and to let love in. It could indicate the great love it is on the horizon, or that the new passion is drawing near. The Mother of the Salt Waters could be a sign that new love or new relationships are about to enter your life, or if they're already here, perhaps you're being called to open your heart and be even more embracing and loving. If you're facing conflict, how can you soften your heart while remaining true to yourself? How can you embrace the people in your life? How can you trust more and welcome the holding and support? Soul Inquiry, how can you let more love into your life? Interesting card. Okay, so let us continue with chapter 12, part 2. And it is stage 3, discovering the genuine, powerful masculine, feminine energies. Beyond social conventions of manliness and womanliness and the universal principles of yin and yang, what does it mean to be a man or a woman in the deepest, truest sense? Our essential maleness or femaleness comes to us from beyond the realm of the personal and affects us in ways we can never entirely formulate or comprehend. As Alan Watts puts it, what a real person always remains inconceivable, since their reality lies in nature, not in the verbal world of concepts. The further we go in exploring this question, the more we touch on a profound unknown, the sacred mystery of the sexes. Nowadays, we often imagine that it is more of an honour to be seen as a person than as a man or a woman, yet our personhood, a term derived persona means mask, is but the outer husk of who we are. It is our known self, a thought image of who we are, which we present to others for their inspection and approval. Through our person may be respectable or impressive, as an outer shell it has no juice, nor does it allow us to connect deeply with another being. Our deepest sense of being either male or female comes from the body as our inheritance from the energies of earth and sky. As such, it is a direct link to the sacred order of the cosmos. Unfortunately, however, many of us have lost touch with the powers of nature that nourish this essential male or female deep within. So to find our genuine, powerful energies, we need to reconnect with our wild elemental spirit that lives in us, underneath all our civilized facades. The human spirit, despite centuries of superficial domestication, retains a fundamentally wild quality. It is wild in the way that wind, rain, and sun are wild. In this sense means untampered with, as it is in itself. The elemental wildness is not something crude or primitive. It is rather a reality beyond personality or conditioning, the god or goddess living and moving deep within, whose power nourishes us like a clear, pristine underground spring. Since we have few models in our society of the genuine, powerful male or female in action, and little guidance about how to bring these qualities into our relationships, we could look to mythology, the world's repository of timeless truths, for hints and suggestions. Yet we should not take these mythological images too literally, for our wild spirit can never be captured in any single representation. They are merely evocative pointers that can help us explore our own experience more deeply. Mythological images of the wild man or wild woman suggest that the undomesticated spirit within us represents a deeper kind of consciousness rather than a regression to something primitive. Wild gods and goddesses such as Dionysus, Ishtar, Shiva, or Kali are highly conscious beings. Their fierceness is a transformative force that cuts through superficial beliefs and artificial facades. Artistic renderings of these deities portray an intriguing quality. For all their fierceness, they appear to be completely at peace in themselves. They are not in the least hesitant or apologetic about who they are. Tibetan Tantric Buddhism has a tradition of crazy wisdom, whose guardian deities all display this quality of fierce repose. In this tradition, wildness is an advanced form of wisdom. Crazy wisdom literally means wisdom gone wild. Yet, one must first develop some wisdom before it can go wild, manifesting as natural, primordial simplicity and spontaneity. Likewise, we can tap our genuine wild male or female power only after we cut through conventional images and develop the wisdom that grows out of a healthy balance of yin and yang energies. Thus, the sublime face of the great Hindu god of creation and destruction, Shiva Maheshvara, is flanked by two other heads, one male and one female. The wild spirit. Deep male power is often symbolized by hair, and in many esoteric traditions by the color white. Shiva's long hair is the legendary source of the Ganges River and its purifying power, bound up in a top knot on the crown of his head. The wild man's hair signifies his connection with heaven wisdom, which he can attain only by leaving collective conventional beliefs behind and setting out to find his own truth. A man's spiritual power lies in his ability to transcend all phenomena, to detach himself from purely personal concerns in order to explore a greater impersonal truth that lies beyond them. The wild spirit in a man never lets him rest entirely content with what has already been accomplished. His longing for the infinite gives him a sense that there is always more to do, more to discover, miles to go before I sleep. He is the pioneer and explorer who finds himself by continually moving beyond the borders of the known world. The wild male spirit also has a raw, earthy, sexual side, as portrayed in images of the Celtic horned gods. Horns representing man's strength and phallic potency when he draws the power of earth up through his whole body. European woodcuts of the wild man with a coat of hair all over him also suggest that a man's power must be fully embodied. Unless a man works on joining the powers of heaven and earth in his daily life, he will not ripen fully into manhood. Seduced by high-tech gadgetry, new cars, the latest computers, bulldozers, guided missiles, or else by mental abstractions. He will be unable to guide himself or inspire others. The dance of Shiva portrays the essence of male power, which is both completely detached and completely engaged at the same time. In one hand he holds a drum symbolizing the music of creation, in the other of flame, the power of destruction. Shiva is the lord of the dance, because he can either create or destroy as the occasion demands, while also seeing beyond both to the greater totality from which they arise. He can dance and make love with playful, passionate abandon, precisely because he has no investment in the small stuff of life. In case you wonder how he does this, he smiles inscrutably and points with a third hand to his upraised foot, signaling simply let go. When a man develops this power of detached engagement, he can guide and direct, take a firm stand, and act on convictions based on commitment to truth without apology. He does not become bogged down in materialistic concerns, but can play with many possibilities. When he brings his power into a relationship, he can provide a strong, steadying influence that allows a woman to relax and blossom. Wild female power is usually symbolized by blood in the color red, which represent vitality and fertility. In the Hindu tradition, the dark goddess mother Kali, dancing with the necklace of skulls, represents the general ocean of blood at the beginning and end of life. The wild woman in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, the wrathful, playful Dakini, the sky dancer, is often portrayed drinking blood or dripping menstrual blood on a mirror. Blood symbolizes the circulation of energy, which maintains the vitality of our existence. It is also the cohesive element binding all the different parts of the body together in a single functioning whole. If earth is the common ground that connects us, blood symbolizes the power of the earth, which brings strength and renewal. Drawing on this power, the wild female can be fierce and bloodthirsty when necessary. She has no use for bloodless activities, bloodless thoughts, bloodless relationships. You will not find her installed in front of a television set or speaking computer ruse. Nor does she tolerate dishonesty or self-deception. The Dakini's unconditional passion consumes dullness and insensitivity in the heat of her fiery dance. If you are pretentious or hypercritical, she will cut off your head with her dagger and wear it as a garland around her neck. In contrast to male spiritual power, which has to do with transcending phenomena, the great spiritual power of woman involves wearing all phenomena as ornaments, celebrating the play of life's energies as intrinsically sacred. We have little notion of this dynamic awakening quality of wild female energy in our culture, especially in a form that is friendly to men. The images of female strength we are most familiar with, such as Artemis the Wicked Witch or the Amazon, portrays a stage of women's independence that is often hostile towards men. Images from other cultures present a different picture, however. The Red Dakini is not a wild woman who, like Artemis, is aloof from men, although she dances on a male corpse, suggesting that the wild female spirit has no use for the deadening side of a man's conceptual mind. She also holds the white staff of her consort, symbolizing her union with the masculine principle of skillful action. So while trampling small-minded ego beneath her feet, she embraces a genuine masculine wakefulness in her arms. Since the Dakini embodies her vast, spacious quality of awareness that gives birth to awakened mind, she can be one of man's greatest helpers on the path of discovering his deeper nature. Thus, in directing her wrath at a man's insensitivity, his tendency to walk around half asleep, or his inability to make real contact, a woman can have an arousing, awakening influence on him. "Wake up, come alive, be present here with me," she screams, shaking him loose from the petty worldliness that prevents him from manifesting his real power. When a man first comes across this wrathful quality in a woman, she may seem quite ruthless to him, yet the essence in such ruthlessness, behind all the distorted forms it may take, is wrathful compassion. This is different from crude aggression, for it arises out of the urge to cut through obstacles to greater aliveness. It is anger with the open heart. The genuine, powerful male or female who lives deep within is available to each of us. Unfortunately, most of us have learnt to distract ourselves from the call of this wild wisdom. We are often afraid of looking beneath our familiar comfort persona and giving up our superficial domestic ways. Society also teaches us to fear this deeper part of ourselves. Western psychology has sometimes reinforced this fear by portraying the depths of the consciousness as a primordial swamp of animalistic impulses. For instance, the Jungian psychologist Esther Harding writes, beneath the distant facade of consciousness with its disciplined moral order and its good intentions lurk the crude, instinctive forces of life like monsters of the deep. Were they left to function unchecked, life would lose its meaning, being reduced once more to mere birth and death, as in the teeming world of primordial swamps. By contrast, it is the wild man in Thoreau who can complain. Dullness is but another name for tameness, as the wild duck is more swift and beautiful than the tame. So is the wild, the mallard thought, which swings its way through above the fens. It was because the children of the empire were not suckled by the wolf that they were conquered and displaced by the children of the northern forests, who were. In wildness is the preservation of the world. Men and women have a real need to feel the elemental, juicy quality of life in and through their relations with each other. Indeed, what we often first fall in love with is someone's free spirit, which appears as proud, solitary, and self-contained as a soaring hawk or a wolf roaming the plains. Yet, though we find the wild hawk beautiful, we may also want to cage it, so that it will not fly away. Thus, consciously or unconsciously, we often try to domesticate our partners, binding them to us, and trying to make them fit our needs. We sever their connection to the roots of their power. A woman may give up her own separate friends, activities, and ways of being to please her man, or the man may give up his solitude and come to depend on his woman for vital energy. In so doing, they lose the wild otherness and beauty that attracts them to each other in the first place. What remains are two domesticated persons who have lost their vitality and mystery essential to sustain a vibrant love. The poet Rilke wrote that a healthy relationship is one in which two partners guard and protect each other's solitude. In a similar vein, a man and woman can learn to guard and protect their own and each other's wildness. To do this, they must cultivate their own individual connection to the deepest powers of life. Instead of primarily deriving their sense of aliveness from each other, men and women who are in touch with their native powers can help each other honor their free elemental spirit in their everyday relations. They can become powerful allies, helping each other awaken to these larger powers. When a man and woman's wild energies meet, they are no longer just friends or lovers, they become consorts, which means that they have an energizing role to play in each other's development. A consort is someone who initiates us through intimate contact into certain mysteries we could not penetrate as readily as our own. In certain tantric traditions, for instance, yogis would seek out a consort to help them attain a major aim of esoteric practice, joining the red feminine essence with the white masculine essence within oneself. The function of a consort is to help us awaken into the fullness of our being, using whatever means are necessary, whether through inspiring and enriching or through instructing and cajoling. This deeper kind of alliance is what men and women need to discover now. Yet, if we live mostly on the surface of our being, we cannot serve each other in this way. Instead, we will see each other's different ways of doing things as a problem. Why are you like that? Why aren't you more like me? A woman's arousing nature will come across as bitchiness, while a man's ability to see beyond the personal will turn into a dry remoteness and emotional unavailability. Women have great strength in the area of personal truth and connectiveness, while men are strong in a different complementary area, the ability to take and hold an impersonal perspective. A woman's thinking and feeling work closely together, giving her special aptitudes, not only for intuition and empathy, but also for expressing what she feels right on the spot. Men have a much harder time with this. Their strength lies more in detaching their awareness from their immediate feelings. This difference may even have a psychological basis. The two halves of the brain, with their different functions, are more closely linked in a woman than in a man. Thus, women often want more from their men in relationships, more intimacy, more closeness, more communication, more sharing of their inner life. The wild female spirit in a woman will continually provoke and inspire a man to be more direct, more honest, more vitally present, and more involved. This is her red essence at work. Men need this and can usually benefit from learning to relate in a more feeling way. Yet a man may find that a woman's way of acknowledging and expressing feelings is not always his way. If he is in touch with his elemental male spirit, he may feel a need to include a larger, non-personal kind of space in their relationship as well. He may even feel that too much closeness on a purely personal level diminishes the erotic charge between them. He may find that he connects with the wild woman and his partner more fully if they can let go of relating as persons and interact in more elemental ways. This is an expression of his white essence, his Shiva nature. When a man honors his wild spirit and brings it into a relationship, he can be more receptive to what a woman has to teach him about relating on a personal level. He can appreciate her ease in connecting as part of her native speech, a gift she brings to the relationship. Then she can help him, and he can welcome her help in expressing and sharing his personal truth more freely. He can acknowledge that she is actually imitating him into a new era of his being. He can also give her important gifts in turn. His desire to meet her beyond the personal level can help deepen their erotic connection and keep it fresh. He can help her free herself from getting bogged down in her emotions and lighten up when she becomes too serious. Because he is not so swayed by feelings, he can take charge of situations when she is at sea. When he comes from the ground of his creative male power, rather than trying to control her or avoid his feelings, a woman can more readily follow his lead with confidence and often with gratitude, for he is also initiating her into new areas. When a man can celebrate his maleness, he feels more at home in himself in a relationship. Most women will find a man completely attractive. The more she celebrates the essential female in herself, the more powerful and attractive she becomes as well. And this further inspires him to assume his power as a man. When the sexes honor their different qualities of spirit instead of trying to convert each other to their own style as the right way to be, their relationship develops greater power and depth. As we move in this direction, we glimpse the new possibilities of men and women meeting in love and mutual respect from positions of equal power, without having to either blame each other or apologize for who they are. At bottom, the deep, essential male or female in us wants to help our partner wake up to the full magnificence of his or her being. When the wild intelligence of man and woman mate with each other, the powers of heaven and earth also join, giving birth to more fully developed human beings. Okay, so that's it for me for today. Don't forget to check the link down below. Check the link on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care. Blessed be.